Hi, it's Liv coming in from Melbourne, Australia on the 23rd of October 2022 at 3:26 in the afternoon. I definitely don't feel as awake as I think I may look. Yesterday I spent the day at Graham's house and honestly had one of the best days I've had in such a long time. His family are just beautiful. The atmosphere, the environment, the vibrations, everything I feel when I walk into Graham's house is really good. It's this loving, welcoming, happy home, and it's beautiful to be able to be a part of it for however long I'm there. They also had family friends over, so a married couple was staying with them, who I obviously got to meet, and just like Graham's family, beautiful people. I could have spent the entire day, more than a day, truthfully, just talking to these people. I've been talking about needing to connect with people who are deep and not just superficial and surface interest for so long, and all at once it was like I was enveloped in this feeling of, wow, there are still people out there who care about things that are real. I mean, I think Graham and I got some work done, in all fairness. Like, I did get through to the end of my first final question. I then started cutting words because I think I've explained at one point that there is like word counts on our assignments. And the first question, this one's a little different because it clearly states in multiple places that like it's approximate for word counts because everyone's going to be different. Now, I decided that after reading through my entire first question, which was over word count by maybe 400 words or so, and that's on top of the leeway, mind you, that I would email my unit chair and ask her for some clarification regarding the word count. I am very much one of those students who cares about the grades I get. I was shocked, truthfully, when we were talking about things yesterday, and I remember, Graham's dad saying something along the lines of, "You're not worried about failing the unit?" Gosh, excuse me. It's always the way. I'm by myself, nothing. Turn the camera on. What are you going to do, right, though? Anyway, I found that a really surprising question. And I was like, I've never once in my entire life been at all concerned about failing a unit since starting university. I see, and I think they were shocked by the answer. Like, they were like, "You've never been worried?" And I was like, "Not even a little bit. I have probably already passed the unit as it is without even submitting this. But I am that student who, fortunately, unfortunately, I think it depends on the time in the day and how I'm feeling and my mood and my pain and my exhaustion levels. Yeah, I don't know how to do things without putting my entire full self into it. I think if you've been following along for long enough and you watch my therapy sessions that I film and share, it's something that my therapist and I talk about a lot, is this feeling of perfectionism that is in me that doesn't allow me to do anything at any kind of subpar level. I don't consciously feel like that, so it's like really confusing to try and even explain, because like I want to be able to just say I'm comfortable and happy with everything I've done. But if it's like, I promised myself with this assignment, after confusing the crap out of myself with the last one, that I wouldn't have multiple documents, right? Because Graham showed me in Word that you can actually see like all the hours spent and the like, it's all in like the info sort of thing. And that's better. And I was like, okay, I really want to stick to the one document so I can at least keep track. The thing is though, this is where I get confused, and without even meaning to, I've done it again. I have now seen this morning. So I've been really trying, like I said, to keep it on the same document. The thing is though, that because I write the way that I write, and let's face it, we're all aware, being concise isn't my, it's not my thing. I don't do it. I'm like Wittgenstein. I need to tell a story with as many details as I possibly can so that all of you who are listening to me can at least make the most sense out of it. Now, don't get me wrong, I've become very aware that I do not communicate nearly as well as I thought I did. But I'm working on it. Anyway, I got through the final draft. Now, at this point, I was like, excuse me, I said to Graham, I was like, I'm emailing it to you. I was obviously sitting like across from him. I was like, don't even worry about looking at it. I said, it's not really the reason I'm emailing it to you. It's because I had first tried keeping track of the changes I was making by using the track changes on myself, and that just once again confused the crap out of me. So then I went and accepted them all. So once I got to the end and I knew that I was like all these hundreds of words over, I obviously knew I needed to then start cutting the words. But I really need to be able to see from how it started to how it ended. I need both versions, yeah? And I just don't know how to do that without having multiple documents. So I sent it to him and I was like, don't even look at it. Look at it. It doesn't matter. I just need a copy somewhere that's not just on my desk or in my drive because I will confuse myself. So that was all well and good. And then in the same document, I started working my way through editing. Now, since I've been listening to things, like as we're aware, I'm now getting all my books in PDF, which is fantastic because I no longer have to actually buy textbooks. No, I'm saying that I have already bought all the textbooks required for the rest of my units for this degree. But yes, so now that I've realized that I absolutely take more information in through listening, and I get through stuff faster, I am finding it a really fantastic way to edit my work. I did forget to take headphones with me. Thankfully, Graham had some spares, and they'd like set up a table for me. It was like I sort of can't get over the way their house is set up. Like it's set up in this way. Like they have this room, which is, I'm guessing, maybe like a second living room or something like that. Given they already have a living room, I don't know. Anyway, I may have explained this before, but they've set it up so each family member has their own desk space, and then guests, say the husband from the couple had his own stuff set up, and then they set up a table for me, and I literally was like, everyone was using headphones doing their own thing. And I found it quite funny because I was set up at the table and then Graham was sort of in front of me, sort of like I'm facing this way and he's that way, but we're like obviously able to communicate. But like I said, at this point, we were actually being serious and getting some work done. Everyone was doing their own thing. And I messaged him through Messenger and I was like, I'm in my happy place. I'm like, this is the environment that I would excel in. Like, and he's like, oh, that's really, really good. I'm so happy. And I was like, I'm going to remind you of that because it's totally worth the hour drive if it means I'm in that environment. Now, don't get me wrong, yesterday was a little different in the fact that they had the guests there. And there was, all sorts of stuff going on. Anyway, I started working through my word cutting, and I thought I was doing a great job until I realised I sent it to Graham and I was like, look, can you read through it? Because I was like, when you read something over and over and over again to the point it starts looking starts feeling like you're like reading in circles. Kind of got to that point at one point. And I sent him the updated one. And the first thing he said was, he's like, where's all the information you need? And I was like, fuck. I was like, I knew it. I was like, go to the one I sent you earlier. I was like, that I told you not to worry about, and open it up. And he goes, there. He goes, instantly, he was like, you've cut the wrong part of the information. And I was like, yeah, I thought so. But in the process, I now have 2 documents that are very similar. And I was filling my pillbox before because I fully don't understand what's happening with time. But I really feel like I'm filling my weekly pillbox so fucking often that time is flying by. But I was listening to Word read them out to me, and they're very similar, so I just have to fix that up. But I, obviously I've spoken to him this morning via Messenger, and he's exhausted, I'm exhausted. I drove home using the tolls, thankfully. I checked both options, and the way I'm one of those people who don't use the toll roads as often as I can, but I still have the tag if I need to. And the way home was just too, I've done it before, and I was just like, nope, using the tolls, it's all good. Turned out, for whatever reason, I had that intuitive thought to turn my music down because I was blaring Rocky Horror to keep me awake and functioning while obviously drinking coffee because I had my coffee cup with me from the drive there to get me home. And when I turned the music down, it beeped at me multiple times, and I was like, interesting. I owe money, obviously. But it was a good ride. And I guess what my point is I didn't complete as much work as I had thought I would. Graham reckons he completed more than he would have if I wasn't there, so that's awesome. But I just had such a lovely time. It was so worth it. And I woke up Boss woke me up at 12:30 today, because even though I got home and I was dead to the world, I still need that time to sort of switch off and unwind. And it had been go since I got up and drove there, spent the day, came back, and then I ended up, I don't know, smoking weed and watching Netflix way later than I should have. I was in that rebellion, teenage, I'm so exhausted, I know I should be sleeping, but I can't. I'm going to stay up and watch TV because I can, kind of frame of mind. But yeah, I did get up late. It's fine. I knew that would happen. I woke up feeling like I'd run a marathon, and I was like, what the fuck happened? And then I realized and remembered, and then that reminded me that there's a number of things going on that I haven't as yet mentioned that I'm aware of. I watched yesterday's morning video, and then I watched half of the second video yesterday, but I'm not up to date with my stuff in all fairness. Anyway, so where am I at? Let me think. Right, so I plan on going back to my assignment once I've uploaded this video. I have decided to skip question 1 for the moment. Like, it's done, it needs to be worked on, it's all fine, but I'm going to go straight into question 2 because I've still got question 2 and question 3 to do, and it is due tomorrow. I did, however, email, I think I started the sentence. I'm very tired, all right, people. So I did email my unit chair and I was like, look, I'll be 37 in December. I have a lifetime full of stuff that's affecting me or affected me and continues to contribute to my life. And I'm like, without being able to explain this stuff, I'm like, my assignment's not going to make enough sense. So I've asked if I can add that extra information that is, in my opinion, very much needed because, like, I mean, yeah. I can't talk about my assignments a lot in detail until they've been received back because of, like, collusion and stuff. Like, I have checked on that shit, so I do have to be careful. Once everything's done, resolved, brain fake. Oh god, I totally just lost myself there for a second. Yeah, no, I've double checked, and once I get everything back and, like, everything's sorted, then it's fine. I can share my stuff. Oh my god, Wallace is gonna lose it. Poor thing. He needs a walk, man. But honestly, like, I feel like I'm gonna fall over every time I stand up, so that won't be happening today. At least not any time in the next number of hours. Anyway, speaking of which, though, when I got home last night, so it was raining when I left. Oh, good. Oh, so I'm still trying to get used to this pausing thing, yeah? But, I've been, fucking acid reflux is driving me crazy, so I thought I would pause while I try to fucking get it out. And in the meantime, I received a message, so I responded to that. Let me see if I can finish where I was at. Right, last night I got home, and boss was, obviously, like he always is, absolutely excited as ever. But because he hasn't been walked in a couple of days, he just went crazy zoomies, yeah? So he kept running inside and outside and inside, and then, because the doggy door's open, thankfully, I'm in so much pain, people. Thankfully, fuck, this is going to be hard. I can't even think straight to talk to all of you, and I've got to get my brain working enough to do a school. Blah. Right, so he kept running in and out of the doggy door, and on the last one, he ran so fast. And my laundry is relatively, like, it's actually quite a big laundry because it's more like just an open space. But because I have Sebastian's enclosure and then, like, a chest of drawers that I put towels in, it's narrow at the moment, yeah? Anyway, he comes running in, his feet slide out from under him. He goes crashing into the floor, crashing into his water bowl, and just, it was so funny. He broke the water bowl, the water went everywhere, he looked so confused, and I just thought it was so fucking funny. Thankfully I had, like, a spare bowl to replace it, so it's all good. Anyway, yeah, so that's all good. Now, I have this feeling I've started topics, but I haven't finished them. But that's okay. So, I have decided I am taking myself to the Phantom of the Opera. I absolutely love musicals, ballet, theatre, opera, all of that stuff. I have no friends that enjoy that I'm aware of. No, I have asked everyone. They all think I'm mad. And even though it took me years to get to this place, I'm finally at a place where I have decided that I'm not going to miss out on things anymore because I'm alone. For so many years, I have missed out on going to events because I have felt so self-conscious about not having anyone to go with. And then when the band Tool was coming to Melbourne, and I had no one to go with, I decided then and there that there was absolutely no way I was going to miss them, and that I was going to go myself instead. And I had the best time. Given my natural ability to talk to absolutely everybody, I didn't even feel like I was alone because I just started talking to the people next to me. And I don't really check in with like the outside world based, like I don't listen to the radio a lot anymore, or I watch the news, shit like that. Now that I'm saying that, it could really explain why I feel like I miss a lot of stuff. But anyway, I was driving to, I think it was Graham's earlier, whenever it was in the month, where I saw the massive billboard in the city saying that the Phantom of the Opera was going to be playing. And I think I've even mentioned it because I remember the soundtrack was playing in my head for a number of days, and then I decided to listen to it through Spotify, and it was only days after that that I saw the billboard. And I've been meaning to get there to look for so long, and then yesterday I realized again I actually have to do something about looking to see when it's here, if there are tickets available and whatnot. So I was going to say this morning, I didn't even wake up until after 12:30. So throughout the day earlier, I started looking at tickets because even though I have plenty to do with schoolwork, forcing myself to do stuff like that when I'm like still half asleep is literally pointless. I think we've all learned that one together, yeah? So I thought I would do the things I could do in the meantime. So I had received a text message however long ago from an Eastlink telling me I had like an overdue fee owing. Jesus fucking Christ. And in all fairness, I thought it was a spam text message because I received so much fucking spam. I was like, that doesn't look legit. So I left it. And then, like I said, last night, for whatever reason, I turned the music down and I heard the fact that it beeped telling me it needs money. So when I woke up this afternoon, again, had another message saying I owe money. This time I was like, okay. And I clicked on the link and I was like, interestingly enough, it is not spam. It is indeed a bill that I owe. I just didn't know that. Excuse me. Anyway, all the information is on a card in my wallet, right? Now, my wallet and my handbag at the same time both broke. None of the zips work, so I can't use them, right? Oh, fucking hell. I do apologise, but the amount of times I have paused and then fucked up a video is too many, and I just want to get through this because I'm not finished talking. And yeah, anyway. So I knew I needed to excuse me, fix that, right? I'm gonna have to heat this up again. Anyway, I wasn't gonna do it through this random text thing. I was like, I need to log into my account and whatever it is. And I couldn't remember any of my details and my email wasn't working. And so I thought, I'll just go find the card, yeah? So my wallet. Now, since everything broke, I put all of my must carry on me stuff, like my driver's license, my debit card, pension card, all the things that I use on a very regular basis. I put them and the paperwork that proves I'm legally prescribed cannabis into my clutch bag, which is usually what I only use if I was like going out or something, because it's tiny, yeah, fucking tiny. But the handbag is still hanging up on the back of my door, which is where I thought my wallet was, which has all the rest of the stuff in it. And my wallet is not in my bag. I cannot find it anywhere, in all truthfulness. I've looked in all the places that I would have thought I'd put it, but no idea. Which doesn't surprise me because I've been running on fumes this last month or so. So I've obviously done something with it in my exhaustion. But that's okay. It was easy enough fixed because obviously I just went into my emails and grabbed the account number and did all that there. So I fixed all that up, topped up my tag, filled the pillbox, looked at the Phantom of the Opera seats. Now, I found one, I found a few, and I was like, yep, awesome. Not only there's still decent seats available, I am entitled to the concession or the student discount, which are the exact same, so either way it doesn't make any difference, but it does make the tickets like $20 cheaper, so that's pretty cool. Now, like I said, it took years for me to get to the point where I was like, fuck this, I'm so not missing out on life anymore because I'm by myself. But at the same time, like, I'm starting to meet people, you know. So obviously I've met Randy's dad, that's Ned, and his partner, right? And so I messaged him and I was like, either you or her, and we'll have to come up with a name for her, I guess, interested in the opera because I'm going to go to the Phantom of the Opera, and I just thought I would ask if you're interested before I buy myself a ticket. And because I want to get my ticket sorted, and some of the people I know have it so I can see if the messages have been read, and then some don't. So I rung him and I was like, hey, sorry, whatever it was, like, we had a bit of a conversation. I was like, hey, you know, are you at all interested in this? He goes, I'm 50-50. He goes, but she absolutely loves it. So find out from her what she wants to do and tell her to make the decision for me. And I was like, yeah, cool. So I rung because I've got her number, obviously, and it was like, please leave a message, it'll be converted to a text. So I did. Then I took photos of a number of the different days and dates and the seats and ticket prices available and sent them through. And I was like, hey, these are what I'm looking at. Like, I personally really just want to go to a daytime one. That's easier for me. I can just train in and out of the city. Plus I have more energy in the daytime. Anyway, she messaged then before, while I was making the beginning of this video, and I read it on the pause while I paused it. And I know she meant well. But she wrote, thank you for thinking of me. Unfortunately, I can't do weeknights due to work. I hope you find someone to go with. These things are better enjoyed with someone. And I have no idea what she does for work, and replied obviously saying, look, I want to go to the day anyway, and that's fully fine because I'm going regardless. And I just said to her, look, you know, fuck it, I just read out what she said. Let's see what I wrote back, okay? I said, I have no one to attend events with. So even though I understand where you were coming from, it has taken me years to finally feel comfortable with attending events by myself because I am sick of missing out on everything. Saying it's better enjoyed with someone when I have no one just makes me sad. And look, I'm not trying to make her feel bad, but I don't think people realize just how much that can affect a person. Like, I'm not the only person in our world out there who has probably missed out on so many things in their life because they've been too ashamed, too shy, too self-conscious, too whatever the fuck it is, to attend whatever these things are alone. Well, fuck it. I'm not missing out on my life anymore. I'm going to the Phantom of the Opera. I'm going to buy my ticket once I get off this and upload my video. And I guess this really highlights some of the stuff that matters to me. Like simple things like, oh, I hope you find someone to go with. Yeah, you might think that's nice, but I don't know how many times or how many more ways I can possibly explain it to people that I don't have somebody. It's not because I don't want somebody, and I'm not talking about a relationship, because I have fucking no interest in dating. Yeah, for me to even consider it, someone would have to come into my life, obviously not through dating websites, because I'm never ever going to go on one of them again. And that's not because I don't think they're good. Great for everyone else. I'm in love. Been in love for a very long time. The universe doesn't want me on dating websites. I've talked about it enough. If you don't know what I'm talking about. In a nutshell, I'm banned from Tinder. Don't ask me why. I don't fucking know. And all other websites, something has gone wrong in a particular way that has made it that I can't be on them. So I took that as a very big universe sign saying, just work on yourself, Liv. And that's what I'm doing. Hence, I'm in a committed relationship to me. Anyway, I think it's people like myself who are the ones that are going to like resonate with me the most, because if you are out there wherever you are in the world and you are watching me and there's something that you really, really want to do, and the only thing holding you back is the fact that you are alone, I want you to know that you're not alone, okay? You're not, because I'm here, because there are people all over the world just like me in situations like this, feeling like they can't go to things because society has made it that things are enjoyed better with someone. Well, you know what? Society can suck it as far as I'm concerned with so much of its shit. But yeah, either way, I'm feeling really good. Oddly enough, I'm feeling a little bit more awake. Maybe that's because I'm actually drinking my coffee instead of letting it go cold next to me. But, so, besides all of this, there are a number of things that have gone on in my life that I'm super happy about, and it's only you wonderful followers who actually watch me all the way to the end that will get to hear about it, because at 33 minutes, I have a feeling some people may have switched off by now. Right, so I think I've mentioned a number of times now that I need to get balance in my life, right? So the things that I wanted to add into my life were joining the local tennis club, joining the local Toastmasters club. Now, Toastmasters, if you aren't aware of what it is what's called Toastmasters International. You can Google it. And basically, it is a public speaking club. So they have a club really close to where I am, which is awesome. And they run on the first and third Thursday of every month. So there's one coming up, and it happens to be the club contest. So I was speaking via email to the club president yesterday. Oh, excuse me, fucking bullcrap. Oh. Anyway, okay, so she's invited me down to attend as a guest to like watch. So I asked her to give me like a run through on what to sort of expect, because it starts at 7. I've got to be there by 6:45, and like in the evening, obviously my pain levels increase and my exhaustion increase as the day goes on. So I have to plan for things properly, right? Anyway, she gave me a really cool detailed description of what to sort of expect. I am so excited because it's like an actual proper, like legit international training college for public speaking. And like we all know, I want to be a public speaker. Yeah. I am publicly speaking right now, technically, because I'm not even a little bit going to watch this before I put it up on the internet for all of you to watch. I am about a week and however many behind. Maybe more. I don't know. I'm just sort of watching random ones here and there. But anyway, I've wanted to join for so long, and I'd finally worked up the nerve, I think, and that's when COVID hit. So obviously everything stopped. But it does. It kind of feels like everything's falling into place. So on Friday, I thought it's time to actually put shit in place and start talking about things and actually doing things. Yes. So I made a phone call to the local tennis club, to the Toastmasters place. The tennis club people, right. At least I'm getting all of my out all here with you. So then hopefully my actual cognitive abilities will kick in better when I need to do some work. Yes, so the tennis club president happened to call me back relatively fast after the message I left. And we had a good conversation, and I explained my situation. I'm no balance in life, uni student, disability. Like, I love tennis. I haven't played it in 20 years because I realised high school was the last time I played, and that would have been when I was 17. So, long time. But I really need to get, some exercise and I need to put things into place to make my life better. Yeah. And the guy happened to say, so he was like, we don't have a club per se. They do, but it's like there's one-on-one coaching, group coaching, the juniors, but there's not enough people for, say, me to join a group as of yet. He did on the phone say though that he'd actually had about 4 different people inquire within the last week. So he was like, there is a possibility of all of you joining together. And I was like, yeah, awesome. He goes, look, one of them came down and had a bit of a hurt. And I was like, whoever she is, I said, you are more than welcome to pass along my contact details and let her know that I am in the same situation as her and super keen to sort of join a group or meet someone to play with or whatever it might be. And yeah. And then he was like, what are you doing this afternoon? And I was like, well, I'm working on my assignment, but other than that, nothing. And Friday was meant to storm, full on storm. And throughout the day, the sky went black, yeah. And he was like, well, he goes, the juniors start at 4 this afternoon, provided the storm holds off. He goes, but if you have time, come meet me at 3:30 and we can, hit the ball back and forth for about half an hour. And I was like, absolutely, was so excited. So that's why I made that really short 50-second video on Friday, because I hadn't managed my time correctly. So I had hoped that I would be able to walk Boss as a warm-up before I got there, but instead of the storm coming, the sun came out bright as, and I was like, oh shit, I had to lather myself in sunscreen, obviously. And by the time I did all of that, it was time to go. So, looking back, it's pretty funny, I think, except for the fact that my entire body, especially my legs, hurt like fuck. But I was not warmed up. I was not nothing. I got there, he was just finishing up some administration, which he confirmed later was basically letting the juniors know that since the sun was out, classes will still be on if they want to come. But yeah, look, I said to him, I don't have a racket. I haven't played in 20 years or whatever. And he goes, oh, that's cool. I'll bring some stuff down. And anyway, we started playing almost straight away. So we didn't play an actual game. There was no scoring. I don't fully even remember the actual rules, but we sort of went straight into just having a hit. Oh, I came back like it was yesterday. Immediately, I was just, it was so much fun, yeah? It immediately reminded me of high school, and the things that I sucked at back then, I still suck at now, but that's okay, because, it's part of the fun. So, sometimes I hit too high and sometimes I hit too wide, but otherwise, I did well. But I was not prepared at all, and I totally forgot, brain fall out completely. How did I not remember this? That tennis involves a lot of running, so much running. Oh, I haven't ran in such a long time. It was at one point I was just I need water. And then I was how long have we been playing? And he goes, oh, he checked and he's 22 minutes exactly. And I was like, okay, cool. I was and at this point I'm just and he's like, why are you wheezing? And I was like, I just need water. It's, and then, we kept playing for a bit. And I remember telling this story, but I feel like I haven't told you this story. I've told Graham and the other people yesterday the story, but it was I could see a battery, and it was I could literally feel the energy just draining. I became so disorientated that I was swapping hands with the racket, and then I was just I'm calling it. I got to call it. I said, I've still got an assignment. I got to get in. I said, I got still stuff to do. He goes, you didn't manage to walk your dog. You still got to go home and walk him first, don't you? And I just looked at him and I went, I love my dog, but there's no chance in any way that he's getting a walk now. I was I literally feel like I am going to fall over. Anyway, he said that I definitely would not be considered a beginner. He goes, it's very apparent, obviously it's been a long time and I'm very unfit, but on saying that, he's you're much better than a beginner. And I said to him, so what happens next? I was I really want to keep playing, but there's no group per se, and he was wow, in the meantime, he's I'm always available if you want to come down and have a hit. And he goes, there's also there's all the courts and they're all separated by nets, and then some of them have these where you can play against yourself, sort of the net that comes back, yeah. Anyway, he was whenever you want to have a hit, with someone, send me a message, I'll come down. He goes, and even if you just want to have a hit by yourself, he goes, you can use the courts. And I'm aren't they locked? And he's oh yeah. He goes, I'll come down. And I was at the same time, I'm oh my god, I'm gonna fall over from exhaustion, and so excited, the Energizer Bunny kid in a candy store, oh my god, I can't wait to do this again. I think he'd confused himself with the week, because he was Tuesday's a public holiday for Melbourne Cup Day, so we could do it then since your assignment's due on Monday. And in my head I was is it? But I think that's not this week but next week. But I'm going to check with him anyway, because I've got no idea if this person is retired or when he's actually available and all of that. But I told him I'm obviously super flexible, because well, I should be on holiday. I'm not technically, but as we know, it'll be in by tomorrow. And then trimester 3 is all online. So again, flexible. And then I was like, yeah, I'm so excited. Like, I'm so grateful. I'll meet you, you know, because he's like, oh, like, I'll be free on Melbourne Cup unless you go into the races. I was like, I have never once been to Melbourne Cup and I've lived here for 18 years, so I'm okay, yeah. I will say, on a side note, it's not that I haven't wanted to go to the races, it's just never happened. And as my views change on things, I think my views are changing on horse racing too, just because of how much I love horses. But that's for another day, not right now. It's 4:14. I've been talking for 45 minutes and 38 seconds. So if you're all still watching, you're awesome. All right, I really want you to know how much I truly appreciate you, because you're awesome. But yeah, so we were finishing up, and I must have mentioned, I think I went to like give him the racket back, or I can't exactly remember how it went, but I think I must have said something like, oh, I'll have to get one at some point, or whatever it might be, and he goes, have it. And I was so exhausted at this point. I went into my awkward self, so my confident self, my high vibrating confident, I've got this, you know, understands abundance and understands kindness and this and that. My awkward self, on the other hand, was just like, what? I don't have any money to, and the way I'm trying to explain it to you is basically what happened. And he was just like, don't worry about any of that. Just take the racket. And honestly, it's in such perfect condition. It's unbelievable. Like, I have zero clue what a tennis racket costs. Like, absolutely no idea what a tennis racket costs. But he just gave it to me. He was like, I've got enough. He goes, I got plenty. He goes, you can have this one. And I just, once I got home, I sent him like a message telling him like just how truly grateful I am to him. Because like every time I look at the racket, I'm just like, wow, like so kind, yeah. And yeah, like I'm just super excited to play again. I actually am going to message him later on at some point to see if I can get some more details, just to figure out, like, is he available throughout the day, like what days suit him better, blah blah blah, you know, so I can work around it. Because I really want to like do this, like actually start doing this at least once, preferably twice a week, right? And he said he's keen, and obviously I asked about costs and this and that and everything else, and he's the president, and as it stands, he's like, there's no clubs for you to join. He's like, so we'll just play, and it doesn't cost anything. So abundance on every level, like so fucking grateful. I can't even explain how grateful. And then I heard, obviously, back, like I said, from the Toastmasters person, so I'm starting that, and that's exciting. Everything's so exciting. I also have some other news that I guess I've been holding off sharing because it hasn't happened yet, but I would be very surprised if something was to change. But some of you may be aware that Sebastian, my snake, my carpet python, has become so big now that I feel like it's only like smart and common sense and just pure safety that there needs to be someone else here with me if I was to take him out of his enclosure. And since there's not almost ever anyone here, it doesn't happen a lot anymore. And the guilt that I feel for him in that enclosure just keeps increasing. And for some time now, I have been really putting it out there to the universe that I will be able to find a place that will be interested in adopting him, so that he can live out the rest of his life in a better environment. So I did try at one point and got nowhere, but I don't remember exactly when, but some time ago, in the last couple of weeks only, I reached out to a wildlife park and I explained the situation. How it went down is I reached out, I asked to speak to the people in charge of the reptile section, explain my situation to the person on the phone. She told me the email. I wrote a detailed email explaining sort of what's going on, why I want to donate him to a wildlife park and not sell him to a stranger on Gumtree and all that sort of stuff. And anyway, I've been in contact with the people in charge, and they have agreed to adopt him, pending all virus tests come back clear. But like I've said to them, he's been in my care since he was 9 months old, so I can't see there being any issues with that. Obviously, he will have to go into quarantine for a little while anyway before he can be put in with the rest. But yeah, so the only thing now that needs to be done is these virus tests. Now, I called my local vet and I was like, do you have any idea where there's a vet for snakes? And they're like, no, not a clue. I did, at the same time, on a side note, make an appointment for Boss, because I have noticed that he is becoming short of breath a lot faster while we walk. His walking has changed. He looks like he's limping now. He's tripping and falling more than normal, and I explained all of this, and she was like, sounds like arthritis, and I was like, yep, that's what I was thinking. Plus he has more lumps and this and that, so I've made an appointment for Boss for Tuesday afternoon, so just to get a regular check over, but he's also going to get an injection of something. It basically just lubricates his joints to help with the arthritis. But I obviously then let the wildlife park know that even my own vet doesn't know where to go for this. And I said, look, because he has to go into quarantine anyway, can you find out if your vet can do all of this? Because that's what makes the most amount of sense to me. And so that's what's happening now. The person I've been in contact with is going to find out what's going on, and then the next step will be taking him where the park is. But I'm feeling really, really good about it. And like she said, she was like, at least this way you can still come and visit him whenever you want. So that's awesome. Life is good. And I realize that with all of these changes I'm making, that I need to do something about my diet. Because my diet right now is terrible. Non-existent, really, if I'm honest. I barely eat throughout the day because of the Ritalin I take. Then I eat fucking crap at night time because I smoke weed. And I absolutely know that how I'm eating / not eating at the moment is definitely making everything else worse. So I have thought about it for a while, and after doing some research, have decided 100% that moving forward, I am going to start getting all of my meals prepared, pre-made, just need to heat meals delivered to me. So like I said, I've done quite a bit of research between all the different companies that deliver to my area, both at the vegetarian and the vegan ranges. I have decided to start with the vegetarian because, as we know, I'm not exactly a strict vegan, though I feel like one day I'll get there. But I understand some people might think it could, like, it's a costly thing to do, especially since I live on disability. But when I went through all the different companies to work it all out, I settled on one that's 5 lunches and 5 dinners at $115 a week. It was like $10 something a meal, $11, whatever it was. Anyway, I get that that's a little costly. However, if I don't, like, there are so many things in my life that I struggle with, okay? Like, I said to Graham the other day, I said there is something in my life that I struggle with that I find so embarrassing and shameful that I have never shared it with anyone ever before, and now I'm about to share it with all of you, because let's face it, at 56 minutes and 5 seconds, I'm gonna guess probably not many of you still watching. Hello, my darling. Anyway, so it is embarrassing, but it's true. A very simple thing that I would say I'm generalizing here, so I apologize, taught as children. I feel like I'm more tired now. What is happening to me? Is the routine of washing your face and brushing your teeth morning and night. Yeah? Simple. Morning and night, wash your face, brush your teeth. Easy peasy, right? Wrong. Not easy peasy at all, okay? Some days, it's almost absolutely fucking impossible. If I'm honest with you, I cannot explain it to me why this is the case. So I'm definitely not going to try and explain it to all of you. But it's something I'm highly aware of. I believe it has something to do with ADHD. Once I feel like I actually have time to do something that doesn't involve uni, I will maybe refresh myself, because there's the amount of things people are like, oh, that's just classic ADHD, and I'm like, I don't fucking know what, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, not being able to have that simple routine obviously affects so many different things in my life, including obviously my skin. So, like, I'm in the process of trying to, I guess the point is, get my life to a place where there's a lot more balance and more things. And as I'm finding, like I can only add one thing at a time, so to speak. Otherwise, it becomes too overwhelming. It doesn't happen. You just look so handsome, Buffy. Okay, hold on, people. He looks so good today. Look at him. He's really cute. Where's my boy? Aren't ya? Yeah. Anyway, just trying to get up regularly in the morning, Monday to Friday, is my goal right now. I mean, the last couple of times Ned called me to wake me up, I was like, yeah. Out to it again. I'm very much working on getting the routine of the morning and the night, washing my teeth and brushing my teeth and washing my face thing, obviously, because I'm aware of how important it is. But I struggle with the food as it is. Like, I really struggle. And because all of these things that I want to do involve needing energy and cognitive ability, and just being at uni needs all of that. And, you know, I want to get fit. I want to ride my motorbike. I want to do all these things. And to be able to do any of them, I need to be at my optimum best. So, since cooking is one of my least favorite things to do, I don't enjoy cooking on any level. I don't like having to have energy to deal with it. I very much prefer ready-made instant meals. So like I said, I've decided, at least for the time being, there's no lock-in contracts. You can stop and start whenever you want. You can swap the meals around. Like, I want the Monday to Friday lunches and dinners. I mean, I could go the full 7, which is like, so, you know, for the entire week, but I think it was something like 5 lunches and dinners was 115, and then 7 lunches and dinners was like 156. So it wasn't a huge difference, I don't think. Let's go 156 divided by 14, $11, 115 divided by 10. Yeah. But anyway, I think I can survive Saturday and Sunday by myself. Anyway, but yes, I have decided moving forward to do that because I am abundant. I do know this. The universe keeps proving it. And if I keep going the way I'm going, I'm only going to make myself worse, not better. So since we're at an hour, 1 minute and 8 seconds, I am going to wrap all this up because it's just gone 4:30 and I have got stuff to do. But yeah, so I am, like I said, I'm feeling good. Tennis, it's a go. Public speaking, it's a go. I will be ordering my meals. You gotta place the order before Wednesday so that they're delivered on the weekend to start the following week. So I'm gonna be doing that. I will hear back about Sebastian in the wildlife park at some point, and my boss reminded me, can't believe I didn't even have it in my fucking calendar, that I've got a workshop to do in a week or so. And he's like, are you still cool to do that? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, just totally forgot. So you might want to remind me what I need to do to prepare for it. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really, really good. And if you're all, if any of you, whoever you are still watching, I love you all. You're amazing people. Thank you. I really obviously just needed to get all of this out because it's been so long since I've sat down and just had a really decent conversation with you, I think. I am feeling good though. I'm feeling really good. Actually kind of excited to get into my assignment now because, like, it's fascinating as far as I'm concerned. Like, I am so surprised by the amount of students who found the unit really shit, and I was just like, are you kidding? It's in my top 3. It's so awesome, but we're all different. Anyway, hey, it is getting on in time and I have stuff to do, so I'm gonna love you all and leave you until tomorrow. Happy Sunday, and we'll talk again later. Bye.